Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Arc 6 live recordings of Arc 6. Fuck. Welcome back, everybody. I was sick today. We're already on a on a high note. We're reading chapters 53 and 54 and rounding out Phase 3 of Arc 6 today. Thanks for being here. Sorry for that one's called I have no brain power. Thank you everybody who auditioned. Auditions, yes, are officially closed. We officially sent out our shortlisting cast. So cast that we have to bring back to audition again, pick our final cast, and then hopefully by the end of next week, we'll have our official cast for Arc 7 and 8. We'll roll out a video to announce our new cast. Some returning, some new. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for being here. Yeah, without further ado, let's bring in the cast podcast. I'm gonna hopefully edit it tonight. I was really sick this morning. It was supposed to be this morning, but we couldn't do it. Without further ado, let's bring in everybody. All right, we're live.
Hello.
Hello. What's up?
Hey, I turned your audio on for once.
Wow, nifty.
Woo.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, welcome in,
man.
Buffy. All right, as always, we're going to introduce ourselves, top to bottom, and who we're voicing today and what the frick we're doing.
Hello, everyone. I am Al. I am voicing no one. I have no one to do.
No,
I'm
you're
just-
Julius.
No, he's not here.
What?
He's not here.
He's not here. Oh, my
He
God.
doesn't say shit.
Oh,
He's fighting for his life out
holy
there, bro.
shit. Who set that up on the casting thing last week? It wasn't me. Holy
It wasn't
shit.
me.
Bro,
It wasn't
bro,
me.
Connor,
I blame
that's
Connor because he's not here.
Connor's out there as
Yeah.
usual, fighting off the wolves.
Holy shit. Wait,
He's
Al.
stuck out there.
Sorry, TLD, Al, you guys, split narration if you want. I don't know. Fuck.
Figure it out right now.
Reed also isn't there, by the way.
Holy shit. Oh, God, he's Rick. Okay. Greenie, you got any? No, you know you're not doing anything either, are you? Fuck.
No.
Welcome to the stream, everyone. It's going to be a ride.
Oh.
To be
It's gonna be
fair,
a fun
there aren't
ride.
very characters involved in these next two chapters.
Yeah,
I mean-
I'm aggressively involved, so fuck all you.
Yeah. As Yusuke Kobayashi said at the ReZero panel, Arc 6 has a very much smaller cast, so we need, what, like, 4 guys here? Total?
Yeah, we always show up.
And yeah, we're all here.
Full man's
Okay.
We're
6
all
of
here.
us.
Starting back from 0. Take it from the top, I guess.
Mhm.
I'll stop interrupting. Alistair.
All right. Yeah, that's me. I'm just here.
Well, you got out of the basement, no?
I did because Connor's fighting the fucking witch beast right now.
He's fighting for his life.
Oh my god. Greenie here, one of the editors of Studio Reverie. Also just here, out of the basement as well. I got thrown in there like a few weeks ago.
Fuck.
There's some room here.
No.
Hi everyone, I'm Carmen, another one of the editors of Studio Reverie, as well as the voice of Melee, currently fighting wolves inner demons.
Well, could you imagine your inner demons are voiced by Common every day? I think that'd be okay.
Oh god.
That'd be great.
It's like your conscience
No.
shows up. It's like, I don't think you should do that.
Why is my conscience
Bro,
so
I was
shiny?
just gonna go on a walk.
Common, tell me everything to do, please, all the time.
Is this what happens when you inverse a British person?
Yeah.
Australian. Down under. I'm Kyle's. I can't do anything today, but I'm also voicing Anastasia for an aggressively long time. Amelia, Satella. I'm covering for Ram. I was gonna save Taildy's voice, but now I'm like, fuck, why'd I do that? I don't even think she's in
What?
here. I don't even think Ram's here. So, that's me. Hello. I casted, talked to 90 people today. And I was sick this morning.
Yay!
Yay!
Not yay,
Your
but
turn.
feeling better now, so good.
Yay!
Hey, everybody. Hi, I'm Tealdi. I'm going to be narrating. I'm filling in for Betty. It's going to be a ride. Buckle up.
Buckle up.
Hey everyone, Wolf here. I'm playing a very mentally ill Subaru today.
Understatement of the
understatement.
century.
Yeah.
Got you, Al.
Isn't he
Yeah.
always unwell?
Oh yeah! I'm also the only co-host of the ReZero podcast left standing. We're all dying out here.
He's gonna die
They
on
are.
Trying to let Al and
Honestly,
Greedy out the basement. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like we're usually not out here.
we
I
out
think
here.
he really is off fighting those witch bees. I don't know if he'll get back.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll
I'm
be
not
fine.
I'm not gonna help him.
All right, Discord link.
The roll call being fucked up.
La 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 la.
Reed's not here.
la, la.
Reed's not here. Julius isn't here.
Fuck off.
It'll be fine.
Everyone is in here.
No one is
Everyone
here.
is here. No one is here.
Oh, big yawns.
The voices.
Let me.
The voices in my head.
The voices in my head are telling me to do this.
Don't worry, I've got this.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone out of the
Send
way.
me
I've
in,
got
coach.
this.
I can do all of it.
Gotta get you in.
I'll do it.
If this one doesn't work, I will set it next chapter. Y'all ready to go? We're gonna see who's in this chapter. Who's involved? I don't know. We're gonna
It's as
wing
much
it.
a surprise to us.
Chapter as they appear
Oh yeah.
during
for
the
real.
read through.
Yes, I do it every time.
Hey, look, sometimes
Oh.
that happens. You just gotta
It's
roll with
randomly.
it.
Oh, I have to voice Anastasia. Oh, she's here. Oh.
Anytime you
oh.
guys hear silence from my characters, it's usually me going, oh shit. You're in here too.
I'm alive.
Sometimes I pop out the booth to give her a little stare.
Yeah, I'll see him like rip it open and glare at me.
That's what I imagine every single time she pauses.
Yeah.
I
It's just
should
like,
really-
is Wolf, hey?
I should take a picture and show everyone eventually. All right, lock in, Chucklefucks. Let's go.
Woo!
All right. Here we go. Arc 6, Chapter 53. A voice chimed. The volatant tail stinger which came flying towards them shattered the stone aisle, causing an eruption of smoke as the destruction spread rampantly. Feeling the spectacle seemingly in slow motion, Subaru witnessed a petite young girl in a dress jump into the core of the vortex of the terrible destruction unfolding before his eyes. With her vertically rolled hair fluttering, jumping into the destruction head-on, had been Beatrice. Courage, no. Foolhardiness. Though a matter of course, the petite young girl's build was fragile. It had much less capacity to withstand the tail stinger's blow than the stone monument. Should she even try to act as a shield, the young girl, with her stature, would not be able to obstruct any strike above Subaru's chest. In other words, it was not but an impulsive action, not but a death futile. Just as how the sobbing Subaru, with his face stained with nasal mucus, had grasped Echidna's sleeve. Just as how he had ultimately called out Julius's name, who had been scorched in the flames of deeds. Just as how he had tried to slam Ram's head into the wall, and had not abided by the illusionary young girl's advice. Beatrice, too, had overlooked the impossible, and tried to receive and halt the tail stinger.
Whoa!
Incomplete EMT, in fact! At that instant, Beatrice, who had appeared forth, grasped Subaru's hand and held her empty hand aloft ahead. At the same pace with the young girl's shout, something invisible to the eyes similar to energy flowed out of Subaru's body. Before Subaru, whose head was tottering, the tail stinger's blow was blocked by what appeared to be a light screen, which had been activated in front of Beatrice's pointing palm. The shockwave, which gave one the impression of this being the last thing one would get to see, was blocked by the defensive wall with Beatrice's palm as its center, and it unrolled the damage onto the environs, seemingly avoiding Subaru and the others. The launch tail stinger did not end with a single blow, and rained upon them continuously. However, all of those were blocked by the shield which had taken the form of the young girl named Beatrice, and led the damage onto their rear. The terrible shockwave blew violently, One of the scattered fragments of the aisle grazed Subaru's cheek. The noise became further distant, in a situation where his field of vision became white, and as he squinted his eyes due to the pain of his cheek, Subaru had his glance robbed by Beatrice's back. There was a titanic scorpion which had been visible for a single instant. If that which had rained incessantly upon them was indeed that scorpion's tail stinger, then it was a matter of course that it was a mortar which could effortlessly turn a human body to dust. Having that be shielded by a young girl with such a small build gave Subaru the chance to pick up his life. An instant before, he had been thinking of what unimaginable hell must he endure, having continued to wish for salvation from God. Subaru had no room to be cursing his own misfortune, and close to his awareness, an existence separate from Beatrice or the scorpion had been present in the corner of his field of vision. That was Echidna, who had been dragged into this attack and exposed to the same damage. She had once declared acting separately and tried to part ways with Subaru and Beatrice, but immediately preceding the commencement of the attack, she had been restrained by Subaru and thus dragged into this situation. Fortunately, she had also been in the location Beatrice was protecting, so the tail stinger's damage had been obstructed by the light screen and did not reach through. However, that was all. What Beatrice had blocked was merely the direct damage that had been rained upon them by the tail stinger. She had not been able to defend against the secondary damage the tail stinger brought with itself. In other words,
Whoa!
Raising her voice faintly, Echidna lost her balance and collapsed backward. Though she stepped back in order to support her body, there was no floor to support her legs. Shattered by the tail stinger's attack, the aisle had crumbled halfway. As a result, the structure of the tower's aisle was damaged, and due to the collapse of the floor, ceiling, and walls, Echidna lost space to step on. Upon being abandoned into an unknown space, death due to falling would be inescapable. Instinctively comprehending that fear, a sense of impending crisis levitated in Echidna's eyes. Subaru instantaneously stepped ahead and grasped Echidna's hand, preventing her from falling to her demise.
Natsuki-kun?
Beatrice had grasped his right hand, while he grasped Echidna's with his left hand. Thanks to Reed's coercive surgery, his shoulder was still in, yet the pain was deep-rooted, so his shoulder may get dislocated if overused. Without handing the responsibility over to Beatrice, who was busy desperately catching the tail stinger, Subaru braced his legs as he gnashed his molars and had no choice but to muster the entirety of his strength in order to restrain Echidna's body weight. Regardless of her small stature, Echidna possessed the weight of a human. Lifting a human was not an easy task to begin with, much less with a single hand, much less by a wounded person, much less with the other person being uncooperative due to this crisis. Even upon being pulled, the danger of falling had not been reduced. Though that was something which was well understood, even if not given any thought. Why he had braved this risk.
Do not do something which will make me surmise something about you.
Like I care! It was just instantaneous!
That response does seem fitting of Natsuki-kun as well.
Overlapping the exhausted soliloquy, he refuted Echidna's remark, whom he had saved reflexively. Though unshapely, she turned her body around and, with the support of Subaru's arm, somehow laid foot upon the crumbled floor. Somehow supporting her actions until the very end, Subaru looked down onto his arm. Letters engraved as wood, patterns of black speckles covering it which he did not know had happened when, and painful and fierce white scars all over his body remained, which had been carved by his own volition.
It moves better than... What's in the limits of my memories?
his arms functioning being better than what he remembered, with the countless scratches on them. His physique, which had become slightly stronger, had narrowly managed to save Echidna from falling to her death. Though his body was too defective and limited for the execution Book of the Dead plan.
Somehow I managed to get back up. Beatrice, how are things on your end?
About to hit the limit, I suppose. About time. Putting her unfitting emotions somewhere else, Echidna, having climbed up, called out to Beatrice with a grim expression. At her call, Beatrice stiffened her lovely cheeks and responded, and at the very next instant, the scorpion, which must have unleashed a rapid fire of the tail stinger, clung to the ceiling and pointed its enormous pincers toward them while letting out a cry. With the seemingly scything down pincers closing in, Subaru had his thoughts slowly washed away. According to his ordinary knowledge, speaking of a scorpion gave rise to a strong image of a venomous stinger. The truth was, over the thousands of species of scorpions, those venomous were only a few dozen in number. In that case, what would be the weapon of a scorpion which hunts without venom? Of course, those pincers would be its weapon. Sharpness, or perhaps it should be called cutting strength instead. It may seem less hazardous when compared to a venomous stinger, but should the scorpion be this large, its killing ability, anyhow, cannot be made light of. That was also made clear through the spectacle of the walls and floor of the tower, which had barely managed to hold their structure, having been minced like tofu being cut with a knife. Marak! Beatrice evaded the spectacle, seemingly a symbol of destruction and massacre, by jumping and rebounding with an unbelievable leap. No, by flying unnaturally, as if abusing the laws of inertia. Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. Sorry. It was a queer sensation, that of having seemingly escaped the effect of gravity with Beatrice at the center. Beatrice grabbed the lower back of Subaru and Echidna's clothes, taking a large distance away from the scorpion's attack. And with the new distance in between, Echidna prepared the fingers of her right hand in the direction of the scorpion's face.
Elgewald!
White lines of heat were fired from each of her 5 fingers respectively. The 5 beams mowed down the aisle like the claws of a giant and scorched the face, right pincer, and shell of the scorpion clinging onto the ceiling. Perhaps due to being unable to endure that strength and damage, the scorpion vehemently waved about its tail stinger and right pincer, and while slipping into the dust which erupted due to the aisle's destruction, retreated to the rear.
Jawald! Jawald! Jawald!
Wait! Calm down, Echidna! It ran away! That thing ran away! It ran away!
While the scorpion drew back into the plume of smoke, Subaru bound Echidna's arms back, who all the more refused to halt her attack. Even after that, Echidna continued struggling for some time, desperately glaring towards the other side of the plume of smoke, finally relaxing her body and entrusting her body weight onto Subaru.
Did it do it?
Not totally. It probably ran away.
Subaru shook his head horizontally before Echidna, who was short of breath and in an unbelievable condition. The cloud of smoke was yet to clear away, but it gave the impression that the scorpion's corpse was not present there. In fact, even right now, he was trembling with fear of the tail stinger's counterattack from the other side of the plume.
But isn't that... that one just now was...
A witch beast, in fact. A boorish fellow, which suddenly appeared onto this 4th floor, I suppose. The tremors in the lower floors, and the witch beasts in the 4th floor. On top of that, the abnormalities in the upper floors.
Up, down, inside. Are there problems happening everywhere?
Subaru changed his expression and turned around upon Beatrice's report as she made a serious face. Certainly, Julius was continuing the battle in the lower floors, and the existence of that scorpion, that witch beast, had become clear. It was also convincing to believe that the abnormalities in the upper floors were happening due to Reed's descent.
Though it seems you do not realize that one of those problems is you.
As if trying the very basis of Subaru's thoughts, Echidna stood alone, having distanced herself from Subaru's chest. She wiped the sweat off her forehead, gazing at Subaru with vigilance found impossible to eliminate. In her pale cerulean eyes was vigilance, suspicion, along with anxiety, perplexity.
Just what are you? Where do you stand? What do you want?
I don't know the details. I said I didn't. I don't know what occurred. And what's happening either. The same as you. After all,
Amnesia. Subaru muttered weakly in response to Echidna's question, unable to respond with nothing but the same former perplexity. The one to claim the last one, Beatrice, who had been lost in thoughts with a serious expression. Amnesia. Subaru had opened his heart to subjects regarding that before the two of Amelia and Rom, and none more. In other words, Beatrice and the others were aware of the cage, as well as Subaru's excuses. And despite knowing, this was the attitude Beatrice possessed. Echidna, too, thought, as she nearly ran out of words.
How did you escape from that cage?
when I took notice, I was lying outside with a broken shoulder.
Though he answered straightforwardly and honestly, he did not expect to be believed. However, overlapping lies with lies leading to gradual deterioration was what the current situation was. Though his self had even prayed to God with a dripping nose to award him with punishment. But there was no longer any point in keeping up appearances and pretense. In that mental state, Subaru responded to Echidna without any falsehood, making her hesitate to say something for a brief period. But after that, she immediately closed her eyes and resumed without looking at Subaru.
Why did you save me just now? Had you not offered your hand, I would have unmistakably died. Taking Anna's body with me, it surely would have been a death terribly filled with regrets.
As if another human's affairs, the question distanced him away by a single step. However, the reason she dared to do that was the same as the reason why she abstained from looking at Subaru's face, eyes. Namely, a last resort to ensure she did not err her judgment due to her emotions. With Echidna's such judgment before him, Subaru pondered, why had his self offered his hand to Echidna? Was it because Julius had entrusted him in the end? Did those words make Subaru offer his hand?
It was instantaneous. I don't know.
However, shaking his head left and right, Subaru denied that notion. Certainly, Subaru had thought back to Julius's words and moved in order to prevent Echidna from acting separately. But when her life was actually in danger, the reason why his body had moved had not been due to such deliberate thinking. He did not know as to why his self had made such a move.
It's not like everything needs a reason, you know? It was sudden. Everything was sudden. That's why I...
Prepared to despair, Subaru expressed the emotions within himself, faltering. He thought that he would undoubtedly receive a cold response from Echidna, having made her hear this.
That might be the true nature of the human known as yourself.
So spilled out Echidna, relaxing her shoulders, having stiffened herself up before his eyes. Upon hearing that, Subaru stared in amazement, eaten by the dumbfoundment. Subaru stood in mute amazement as Echidna shrugged her shoulders upon his gaze.
It is inevitable that we would want to quarrel here. It would also be foolish to remain here for long and accept the witch beast's second attack. Let's move. I want to reunite with Julius.
Agreed, in fact. For now, let's get away from this place, I suppose. Echidna and Beatrice indifferently determined their plan, leaving out Subaru, who was at sea. Echidna ascertained the area behind from Beatrice, and Beatrice tightly grabbed Subaru's hand. Upon that tiny sensation, he looked towards the young girl, as Beatrice, with a deep nod. Do you not remember taking Betty outside as well, I suppose?
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's fine, in fact. Hearing the terribly transient emotions of mixed in Beatrice's, Subaru felt as if he had committed the most dreadful crime in this world. But Beatrice shook her head left and right before Subaru, who was bleached with a fear of unknown nature, and concealing herself's lonesome feeling, carved a darling smile upon her lips. Even if Subaru has forgotten, it is still present within Betty's heart, in fact. It is impossible for what Subaru engraved into Betty's heart to fade away at all, I suppose. That's why it's fine for now, in fact.
Beatrice?
Even if Subaru forgets, Betty will never forget. Betty will always remember. And Betty will also make Subaru remember, I suppose. For that, Betty will do whatever she can, in fact. That had been a response far too dazzling for Natsuki Subaru, who was standing here all alone. Just how many predicaments had she overcome? How many times had she tempered her heart into steel to make a girl this young wield such He could be saved, and upon that sensation Subaru held his breath. Spontaneously, a sensation welling up deep within his eyes tried to kill as he braved letting that warmth overflow. Beatrice supported that strenuous effort of Subaru by gripping to his hand without saying a thing. By merely gripping his hand, it proved to be his support.
It does not seem to be possible to tread the path Natsuki-kun came from due to the witch beast's attack just now. Though undeniably dangerous, it seems there is no choice but to utilize the side from the aisle which remains all right, where the witch beast's retracted to, and move.
Echidna, you too?
Talking about forgiving, not forgiving, doubting, not doubting, is unsuitable for this place. Regardless, the suspicions I have cannot be cleared. However, the situation does not allow for that. Creating an order of priorities is indispensable ability in business. I witnessed that right by Anna's side.
That is why no more arguments are to be had in this place. That must be Echidna's conclusion. Subaru also avoided objecting to Echidna's judgment, who had made compromises and possessed feelings of rejection, and decided to abide by the judgment of the two. There was no change in his feeling of wanting to run away even now. However, he wanted to believe that if he crouched down and put his hands on his head, a scene further befitting of pleading for would await him, rather than simply offering his prayers to God. Behind him, the aisle Subaru came running from was in a terrible state. Receiving the attack by the scorpion's tail stinger as if a catastrophe, most of it had been converted into piles of debris and wreckage, and did not seem like it could be used, just as what Echidna had stated. What Beatrice's magical safeguard had protected was only her own and the other two's lives. Even if they tried to move towards Amelia and the others, who were moving separately, or towards Julius, was fighting on the 5th floor. They had no choice but to advance upon that side of the aisle, which the scorpion had retreated towards. Ahead of jumping over the hole, due to which Echidna had nearly fallen to death, after clearing up the smoke in the part of the aisle where white lines of heat had grilled, a reason for Subaru to spontaneously groan fell over there. It was that witch beast's tail, which had perhaps fallen off from its roots.
I see. It means there was no counterattack. Its means of attacking splintered off, which is a bit of good news, I guess.
That's what it seems, I suppose. Don't fall off the floor, in fact. It's time to jump over, I suppose. Beatrice and Echidna nodded to each other as they looked at the fallen tail, which even had the stinger attached. By appearance, it was overwhelmingly grotesque, but the witch beast had certainly lost its means of long-ranged attacks with it. Of course, the circumstances in the lower floor was that countless centaurs clad in flames were surging forth. It could not possibly be said that the hazards present within the entire tower had reduced, just because the danger of that one witch beast posed had diminished.
Here.
Subaru lightly jumped over the hole while continuing to hold Beatrice. Beatrice's body was light, far too light for any comparison. The fruits of a year's worth of labor felt by Subaru in his own body, which were nowhere to be found in his memories. Her lightness was seemingly irrespective of. Keeping that in the back of his mind, Subaru turned his eyes once again towards the fallen tail, which lay ahead of the hole in the aisle. The tail had launched a rapid fire of the stinger as if a catastrophe, but its structure was completely different from the biological features of a scorpion Subaru was aware of, to an extent that it could be called a separate article entirely. Though a matter of course, the venom stinger of a scorpion, which Subaru knew, could not be used for things like shooting, and probably could not be regenerated either. Above all, evident from the aisle's destroyed condition, it had not been firing the tail stinger as an object. It had been firing power, which resembled a stinger in form. Basically, it could alternatively be said that, just like Beatrice's light screen and Echidna's white lines of heat from earlier, what the scorpion had fired was something akin to magical stingers. Naturally, since it had been utilized as a stinger, it would no longer be able to invoke it after having lost its tail. That is what he wanted to believe.
Huh?
Thinking that far, Subaru embraced unease. He had noticed it after observing the fallen tail. That fallen tail had been cut off neatly from what was its root, but the wound's mouth appeared as something unusual. Had it been burned off by Echidna's lines of heat? Regardless of cutting strength, there should have been scorch marks remaining on the wound. As a matter of fact, the surrounding part of the aisle, which had been struck as well, also had such burn marks. However, there were no traces of that on the scorpion's fallen tail, which instead had an awfully clean cross-section.
Bia!
Subaru noticed something was strange. Far too late. The tail fallen on the floor, which he had kept at the edge of his field of vision, quaked with a start. An instant later, a light burst open. There exists a mechanism named autonomy. There exists a mechanism named autotomy. A phenomenon primarily witnessed among anthropods and lizards, it is often called things like lizard's tail, and refers to the action of cutting off a part of one's own body for escaping from foreign enemies. This action is also seen among pincers of crabs, and in other words, the witch beast shaped as a scorpion had perhaps done something similar. In the case of a lizard practicing autotomy upon its own tail, the detached portion of the tail moves around for and serves the purpose of distracting the enemy, while the real deal escapes. Of course, the tail possesses no such consciousness, and only acts reflexively, but it is an example of a species which practices autotomy being capable of such a reflex action. Then, would this not be possible as well? Once the prey gets close to the detached tail, it would explode and spread damage, a duty like that of a landmine, and also granting the ability to do so to the amputated part. He wailed, while spilling out a wail from his throat. Slowly and steadily, Subaru dragged his feet. As for why he was dragging them, it was not because of fatigue. The problem was physical. With a large and deep tear in the flesh of his right leg. With a large and deep tear in the flesh of his left leg, and in a situation where it continuously bled from that wound, he had no choice but to move that way. And what Subaru was dragging was not his body alone.
Enough. Now, leave me and go.
So pronounced Echidna, having lost all her strength, as she was dragged along by Subaru, who was dragging his feet. Subaru had taken both of her armpits in his arm, pulling her from behind and anyhow leaving the scene. Unless they left the scene of the explosion, that witch beast would return. The scorpion witch beast had left the explosion as a parting gift, responsible for ripping Subaru and the others to shreds.
Shit! 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 Shit!
He had been negligent. He had let his guard down. His mind had been completely submerged in lukewarm water. Just an instant before, there had been words which Beatrice had spoken to him. There had been somewhat of a softening in Echidna's attitude, resulting in a gap within his heart, and that was thoroughly why they were the way they were now. He was so pathetic so pathetic from the bottom of his heart that he teared up. Why, despite being made to stand before such crises, yet his self displayed no growth, displayed no change? Troubles, trials, hardships, were there not chances to grow provided by God? However, if hardships could consist of only being beaten up, bleeding out, and having bones broken, having the soul shattered and the life robbed, then just what did humans suffer for?
Natsuki-kun, this is enough.
It's not enough! Not a single thing is enough!
Beatrice, rather than me, right?
Closing her eyes, Echidna whispered with difficulty. Responding to her words with a yell, Subaru halted his breath upon the words she followed up with. Echidna's words, though sad, were sound. Should Subaru be asked who was more valuable to him between Beatrice and Echidna? Though sad, Subaru would choose Beatrice. The worth of lives might be equal, but the worth of humans was not equal. There existed a sequential order when it came to relationships. In a scene of choosing, that order would probably be followed. However, Beatrice was not here. She was not there. She was no longer anywhere. The moment the tail left by the scorpion witch beast exploded, Subaru had pulled Beatrice towards himself in fear. How fortunate would it have been had he been able to protect her body and everything just like that? However, Subaru's actions had been tragically slow, and his wish could not be fulfilled. The tail of the witch beast, from which the light exploded and countless stingers were scattered throughout its environs. Though Subaru had not been exposed to that explosion from close proximity either, the reason why he had survived, despite being seriously injured, was to Beatrice's credit entirely. The moment Subaru hugged and pulled her, she tried to shield Subaru's body and vitals, as a result of which was exposed to the concentrated light.
I see. That child is truly like that.
It seemed that even Echidna's imagination had gotten an idea of the words he had been unable to continue. Subaru could not possibly refute her husky, sighing voice. Subaru, bleeding and wailing in agony, had been unable to even exchange a few with the young girl, who had seemingly melted away. However, merely her final expression, he did possess in his memory. Eyes seemingly relieved, seemingly loving and cherishing. That far too convenient expression for Subaru had been Beatrice's end. And if that was so, then Natsuki Subaru, who had made her disappearing self make that expression, should vanish from this world without leaving the slightest trace behind. And due to the process of elimination after Beatrice's disappearance, Subaru had escaped by dragging Echidna with him, the latter still breathing. As if for atonement, as if for redemption, or perhaps in an effort to be rightfully punished by the offender. And Subaru's such actions were restrained by the breathing Echidna, telling him that it would be pointless for him to do this. She, who had been so enthused about turning Anastasia's body. That, too, was a matter of course. Both of her legs had been blown off from the roots. At this point, she had almost stopped bleeding. Pulling the body he felt to be lighter even than Beatrice's, in a state where she had not received any immediate medical attention. What kind of a future must be awaiting her? When such thoughts filled his mind, Subaru stumbled upon the debris and collapsed at that very spot. At the same time, Echidna, whom he was dragging along, was also thrown down onto the aisle and toppled over. Momentarily, merely the wails of two people, seemingly cursing the entire world, echoed through the aisle.
It hurts. It really hurts. The human body truly hurts.
My bad. Sorry. Sorry. No. Rather than that, I...
Do not apologize. Sincerely, Natsuki-kun. Although, I no longer have any face to show Anna, this pain is my sole repayment to Anna.
Repayment?
Remaining collapsed on the ground, Echidna assented, unable to even move her body, as Subaru shook his eyes, unable to comprehend the words she had spoken. Just what did repayment mean? Looking at Subaru's puzzled expression, Echidna said, "After all, isn't that so?" by loosely opening her mouth slightly.
If I return this body to Anna now, she would have to taste this doomed pain and fear of death. That would be hell. I should be the one to taste it alone. Unable to return this body to Anna for her sake, and unable to assist Julius, it is fitting for me to fall into hell like this.
He could understand that emotion, self-derision, and approach were vehemently scorching Echidna's heart. Even Subaru was able to grasp that Echidna's lifeless eyes. After having recited this, she had commenced counting down to her gradually approaching death. Without having done a single thing, the powerless, insouciant, incompetent oneself. With those regrets, Echidna would die. She would die, leaving Subaru behind.
Wait.
Please don't think about making this easy, okay? I am, fine like this.
Dreading Echidna's fading life force, Subaru raised his voice first. However, her words suddenly bestowed a new choice upon Subaru, who had been unable to do anything. He would make it easy. His actions at this point were far too slow to call it a comforting death, yet assisting her by shortening the time of suffering and hastening her death was something even he was capable of. Subaru forced his agonizing body to stand up before Echidna's sidelong glance, as she breathed lightly, faintly, and he picked up a broken piece of the crumbled aisle, confirming its weight. Of a size which could be grabbed with a palm, about the size of a fist at maximum. However, even this could surely serve as a weapon for taking away the life of a young girl on the verge of death.
Echidna.
Keeping the piece of rubble in his hand, Super called Echidna's name and got on his knees beside her and denied her condition. Not a response. She did not even open her eyelids. But it could be understood from her expression that she was not unconscious, having faintly stiffened her cheeks and pursed her lips. She perhaps no longer had any willpower to even stop him. Should Subaru raise the piece of rubble overhead and swing it down energetically, her life would be taken easily.
Smashing someone's head in with a stone? Even I haven't done something like this.
So heard Subaru, the echoing sweet voice of the young girl within his mind, as he held the piece of rubble in his hand. However, this action was not for the sake of reading the Book of the Dead.
Let's go.
That might happen in terms of but as of this moment, Subaru did not have that in mind whatsoever. He was being a suicide assistant. A suicide assistant, for the sake of making someone's parting, who's already on the verge of dying, as comfortable as possible. If someone had the right to take away that life, then surely this moment alone, sincerely, this was the sole opportunity of atonement for Subaru, who happened to be present here, for Natsuki Subaru, who was no longer capable of anything. It was the sole opportunity, and yet... His hand trembled. The depths of his eyelids called out to agony. His throat forgot respiration and ossified. Raise it overhead, swing it down. An exceedingly easy action. The present Subaru was unable to do that. His body would not move, as if he had forgotten how to move his body. Spilling out a husky sigh, the piece of rubble fell to the aisle's floor, giving rise to a report. Conceding defeat to that report in his powerless knees, Subaru crumbled down at that spot.
No. Wait.
Can't you even do something so simple, Natsuki Subaru? Swinging down a weapon for the sake of making it easy for someone in suffering and heading towards death. Are you not capable of even that deceit? Atonement of mere words, guilt which was merely an expedient. If that's wrong, then how would you explain this dilemma?
Natsuki-kun. For helping with suicide, you can't even clasp a stone.
Raising her thin eyelid, powerless pale cerulean eyes looked at was knelt down and whispered, thinking that weak, akin to a sigh, had put Subaru's weakness to blame. He halted breathing. However, as Subaru drew back his body, Echidna unsuitably loosened her.
Forgive me for doubting you.
As she lost her breath, she apologized. Echidna apologized to him. She apologized for having doubted Natsuki Subaru. And before he could ascertain her true intent, she died. Killing Meili and hiding her corpse, acting without saying that he had lost his memories, continuously piling up nothing but others' doubts, escaping out of the ice cage he had been trapped in, unable to fulfill the wish entrusted onto him, protected by the young girl who tried to save his heart, and finally, unable to stain his hands with blood for the sake of the dying young girl, as Subaru knelt down in his own disgrace, Echidna apologized to him and died. He wanted to die. He wanted to forget everything that had happened just now and die. He wanted people all over the world to point their fingers towards Natsuki, saying that he deserved to die and that he deserved to be sentenced to death penalty. Natsuki Subaru despaired upon himself that he had committed a sin befitting of that. He despaired. Despair feasted upon and eroded away Natsuki's heart. He could not move. He had no right to move. Nothing good would happen even if he moved. It had been proved. Natsuki Subaru had proved his own incompetence. No, calling it incompetence would be rather cute. Instead of that, furthermore, Natsuki Subaru had proved that he was a jinx, a pest, an angel of death. Should despair nest into one's chest, kill one's heart, what would be eaten to ruin even before one's life would be one's soul? If that happened, then no longer would it remain possible to stand up. No longer would it be possible to fight against anyone. Should he realize that he himself was a genuine source of anguish without being able to defy it whatsoever, it was a natural consequence.
I want to disappear. I want to vanish. I should have decided much earlier, before things turned to this. In this different world. Should have known. Must have known. Before coming to a place like this different world. Why do you trouble other people's hearts by simply existing? There's no way you could ever have the right to solely occupy a part of others' hearts, no matter how small it may be. You filthy wall stain. You in existence like the dust accumulated in the corner of a room, like the maggots which swarm over a pile of pure garbage, like a scar which never disappears, located in an eye-catching spot. Natsuki Subaru, why won't you die? Even after dying, all that weight is redoing. Who decided that? Who made sure that it would continue eternally? If once isn't enough, then die 10 times. Die 100 times. Die until you disappear. Die until you vanish. From anyone and everyone's memories. Until you're no longer able to affect anything at all. Until your name, your existence, your vestiges no longer remain in the hearts of anyone!
I love you.
Shut up. Disappear. Erase me.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
Keep quiet. Don't talk to me. Don't get in the way of my disappearing. I want to disappear.
I
Just
love you.
disappear.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I want to die. I want to disappear. I want to be smashed to pieces. I don't want to leave a single trace. I want to become something which never existed. I want to erase my existence. I want to disappear from history. I want to disappear from memories. I want to disappear from remembrances. I want to disappear even for the girl who said she won't forget. I'm worthless. I'm meaningless. I won't leave anything behind. I don't have anything worthy of leaving behind. Oh, anything, everything. Disappear, vanish, away from this world.
I love you. 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 I love you.
As despair ruled over his heart, the world surrounding him and everything else was concealed by the black shadow. A hollow confession of love was poured onto him ceaselessly as it drew near, in order to bestow punishment upon the garbage which took the form of a crouched human. Should he be swallowed within it? Would he finally disappear? Would he sink within nihility far greater than death? Would he really be abandoned within a convenient place, like a dark space which no eyes could ever reach?
If I could die there, then I will. I will.
Natsuki Subaru headed towards the despair which seemingly painted out everything.
That's enough.
A voice chimed. A voice akin to a silver bell, denying the end of this world, chimed. And that's the end of the chapter. Woo!
Woo! Depression.
Woo!
Yay,
Yay!
despair!
Amazing work, everybody.
That was
Your mic was doing the Beatrice thing. It hated
Oh.
me.
Oh, yeah.
Dagnabbit.
Oh.
But not a lot, like here and
Okay.
there.
Bleh.
Yeah.
Do you
it was
have,
having a generation though, so.
Noise suppression on?
I don't know.
That's okay.
Everything is all over the place.
That's okay. On your Discord, the crisp.
Get a crisp shit.
Hold on.
Oh, hello, Gold.
Hey,
Hello.
how's it going?
Oh, hello.
Oh yeah, noise
Uh-oh.
suppression is
Hey, Gold.
Hey.
Oh
Yo,
no,
Matt.
it's off. It's off.
Oh,
Ugh.
strange.
Yeah,
Huh.
this microphone is just grouchy.
It's grouchy.
Mm.
Don't worry
He's just
about it.
grouchy.
It's
Sorry.
doing good enough. It's doing good enough. It's only like the odd time.
Yeah, every now and then it's just like, nope, bye.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness we are re-recording anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
It's
That
okay.
right.
Nothing
Thank
of
you.
Run it
consequence
back
was
later
lost.
on, we'll be fine.
Exactly. That was a rough chapter.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, I will be redoing that Satella thing. She's gonna be underlaid underneath everything. And I'm gonna make a poll if we're gonna do it in Japanese or English. The Japanese version always sounds way better in my opinion. But you know,
Aikido mashing.
yes. We'll let
Yeah.
Satella go behind Subaru's despair.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, I can
smart.
already picture how that editing could go. I can already see it in my mind.
Do we remember who claimed this chapter?
No one's claimed
Probably
it yet.
me. Really?
I can do it if you guys
I
want.
swear someone claimed it.
Oh wait.
You edit Gold?
Oh wait, you're talking about the editing. I thought you said narration.
Oh no.
Oh.
I was like, yeah,
I
hey,
was like,
guys,
yeah, you want to
edit.
hear it now? Sure,
Yeah.
sure. All right.
No, no one's claimed it because Kyle's has the
narrating?
next chapter for editing.
Yes, of course. Well, anyone can take it. I will do the. I forgot I'm doing all the vocal mixes, so don't worry. He'll have it. Have fun with that if I don't take
The
it.
narration or the editing? I just fucking my brain exploded.
Editing. That is my bad. My
Yeah, you
complete
guys talking about
bad.
the editing. Yeah.
So TLDR, let's segue into this real quick. Myself, Greenie, Common are the main visual editors. I do the full audio mixes, and Skura lays out our track. So any missing audio or anything we gotta redo, Skura's gonna go in and take those pieces out, remove them. I mix the audio to make sure it all sounds the same. Skura and I will be co-oping sound effects and like soundscapes, as well as Common and Greenie a little bit too. But Common and Greenie are taking over most of the visuals. So thanks to that little group there and Unseen's art, we have gotten quite a few chapters gone, like up and ready. We got 1 to 10. We're just waiting on voice actors now. So that's pretty good to see. And a bit of my mixing and some soundscapes. Yeah.
And I'm just here reading things. I do not know any of the back end stuff.
And that's okay.
I'm useless
You are not useless.
You are not useless.
in the
Same.
editing
Yeah,
department.
you're
Let me
the main
clarify.
narrator.
I am
No.
useless in the editing department.
You're great
No.
for the editors.
See, Aldi, you
Oh.
wanna know what's funny? I mostly get any chapter that you voice, so I always
Oh,
have your
nice.
sprite ready, and it's so funny.
Yay!
That being said,
She's
if you have
always
any-
there waiting to look over look over the top of the book like, are you serious right now?
If there's any artists in the chat and you want to share your art, we do have a little link. I can restate it in the Studio Reverie Discord server. If you want to share, you totally can anytime. We'll use your artwork as long as it's in the right spot. And I remember to add it to our editor's stuff. You're always welcome. If you want to help us with our own sprites for narration, let us know as well. We have no money to provide as of right now. But hopefully, we will be doing some little artist auditions in the next few months for this assets fund that we are developing, thanks to all of you guys.
Yay!
3,000.
Wahoo! We've gotten quite a big chunk so far, so thank you all. Oh,
That's
thank you.
122 I love you. That's crazy.
That's gonna be fun for editing.
You know what?
sake.
I will.
No, you know what? You just need to do like one and then just like
Keep it.
soundboard it.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna get a little creative with this one. I also needed to do it for like a redeem from my streaming a while ago, so I'm a double dip and put it on my channel too. I need an hour-long loop of it.
It gets
so.
double duty.
Exactly. I'm the
1
same
hour of
person, I
silence
swear.
Occasionally broken up by Aishterus.
Yeah. Silent occasional Aishiteru. Thank you for that idea. Al, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna run with it.
Clip it and ship it.
Clip it, ship it.
Woo! Okay.
That was a crazy
Whew.
chapter.
It was.
Trigger warning, I guess. We will have proper ones for the final edits. We already have that planned.
Trigger warning after the chapter is crazy.
Oh, like that one.
Chapter 15.
Yeah, like that one time.
At the very end, it's like,
Chapter.
man, I should probably tell people about this, but I'll do it at the end.
I'll do it at
I
the
know
end.
we do it at the very end after the fact. It's like, oops. Here it is.
FYI, man, there's some stuff in here, huh? How you
That's a bit
doing?
disturbing to anyone who watched.
Let's
Please,
be real.
go get
Most of
therapy if you need it.
most of phase
Chilled.
3, most of phase 3 is just a what's it called? Trigger warning.
Yes.
Yeah, just one giant trigger warning. It's like, if it turns out there's not one in there, yay, Mazel Tov, unexpected surprise.
Mazel tov.
The legs being blown.
Little stumpies.
Trigger warning. Stairs. What do you mean stairs? What could possibly happen in this chapter? Oh!
Oh.
Oh.
Thank you for
Oh,
setting
great
this up.
heavy.
Of course.
Tail,
Oh,
are you
Lord.
still okay to do another full chapter? I know I just threw it at you, but
I am. I'm good. Sorry,
Yeah.
I had to cough, but there was so much
Oh, yeah.
narration. I didn't have a good place to stop. So I'm just going through. It's like, come on, voice, you can do it. Come on.
next time feel free to mid chat cough. Just keep going.
Just
Yeah.
You just
Sorry.
As
Continuing.
was walking along the.
Pardon. Restart anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's better now, so it should be
good.
all right for these.
Good. Another 19 pages.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Wolf is just fixing up a few things, and we're good.
No worries.
Really, what was going on with the roll call? It doesn't even have Amelia in chapter 54. listed.
I don't know. In a second, once I get back on the computer, I'm gonna update everything because I just.
Yeah, maybe
I-
you did. That was
It's
a bit
really just
goofy.
Satella Amelia Subaru right now in the narrator.
Yeah,
I'm so
they were
sorry.
just having a nice little conversation.
It's just a cute little combo.
Mm-hmm. The one
Yeah.
week I didn't check River, right?
Oh, well, there's no centaur either.
Yeah, there's no centaur. Like, where's the
I don't
centaur?
know who the fuck
Yeah.
did that up.
Who did
Fine.
I don't. Like,
Who is
like,
responsible for this?
I know I forgot to set up the stream, but Jesus Christ.
Awesome amnesiac hetero couple versus the evil and intimidating centaur.
That's crazy.
Subaru's in the middle of getting a motivational speech. Amelia's like, "You are awesome. I believe in you." The centaur.
No time for your kindness.
No time for having a good time.
Having a good time, having a good
Having a
time.
good time.
Da, Common, your let's go in the middle of a suicide talk was crazy.
Yeah,
I
I
was
heard that, and it's just like, nope. Just don't acknowledge it. Just
Yeah.
roll. Just go.
Completely unrelated to it.
Taildy and Wolf kept going, and I was just in the corner trying to breathe it out, but every 2 seconds I couldn't.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then
I
from
was
the corner of my
stopping
eye, I saw the chat in the live recording Discord just go, and it's like, nope, don't even acknowledge
Don't
it.
even
Just
look.
Yeah.
don't even look. Just stay the course.
I said my one line, zoned out, missed the mute button.
Let's go.
I heard it and I was like,
with a
"Did
rock.
hear it?"
I can't hit her with a rock. Let's go!
Yes.
I heard it.
Oh,
I'm like, did
that's
I hear that right? Oh my god, it was that.
Oh yeah, and then Al's last time.
Yeah, at least it wasn't me being clipped to the jaw. God!
Oh, yeah, shut
See, now there's two of you. You can commiserate with each other.
Exactly. I was like, you know how it feels now.
Been there, done that. I think it was our 4th reading. Walked right in. Conda was like, can you not? Anyways, and then keeps going, and I was like, oh shit!
Oh damn.
We're gonna need like an Ox6 bloopers.
That would be fun to do.
Random melee, let's go.
Let's go.
I mean, it's in
And
character
to bash a
too.
girl's skull in.
It is. It is.
It
Yeah,
unironically
like-
works.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Melee is just like she's just Subaru's chat. You know, chat is it chat? Should I brain her head in with a rock?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hype train, go.
Let's go.
Choo choo to Pain Town.
Oh my gosh. We love live recordings.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They are
You're doing
so much fun.
Oh,
I did send a
Rather
link.
recording by myself where I just read the words, and if I make a mistake, I say a bunch of swear words and then
Your
just
bloopers are quite
restart.
funny, I must say.
I do try to save them where it's like it's so serious, and then I mess up. It's like
Yeah.
fuck.
You and
Yeah,
Purple
That's pretty much all of them.
are my top 2 favorites. Hi, Purple, by the way. Purple will send me
Hello.
like clips on the side, and they are always amazing.
Subaru fell down the. Ugh, fuck. Okay.
Subaru fell on my lungs. Holy shit, man.
Yeah. My man.
I always try to get rid of mine.
Bloopers.
Oh, I
The
do,
amount
but
of ones that I just had.
I've
during
gotten in a
the
better habit of just
auditions.
clipping. I delete them, but then I have a separate Audacity file open. I just chuck them in there.
Hell yeah. See,
There's
it's
some real
not-
bangers that are lost to the void forever now. I feel
Oh,
kinda bad.
no. There's always like I never mind. Well, okay, I don't want to catch strays. That's why I get rid of them. It's not even because of like trying to be nice to anybody. It's because the one I forgot, Skura DMs me is like, "Are you okay? I'm worried about you." And I was like, "Oh, so sorry.
Oh,
I'm okay." It was the middle of Liliana chapters. I was like,
oh
one
yeah,
chapter to go.
yeah.
Oh,
that
it's a,
was
oh, it's
Yeah.
Liliana
I
crash.
literally
out.
screamed like,
no.
"I'm gonna end it all." I was like, "Oh,
Ooh.
don't do that. Please love yourself."
Please don't. It's like,
Oh man, the
no,
bloopers
I
were
just
lit.
needed a vent. I'm fine.
I forgot that one.
Ooh. Yeah, no, I look, any blooper during the Liliana chapter segment,
Oh my
I-
gosh.
like the amount of murder that was probably exuberated in it.
Considered.
It's the reason why we almost let go of this channel for good.
Oh, I just finished fixing chapter 54 for the script. It should all be good.
Thank you for doing
All
that.
right, let me refresh.
Did a centaur suddenly appear in between the awesome warrior couple?
Just adds it in for us.
All right, the centaur is not there. We're good.
Ah, thank God.
Yeah, the centaur can go home. He's not needed.
The evil,
Go home, you're
intimidating
drunk.
centaur.
Shola comes in, fork and knife. I'm hungry. Time to eat.
I'm hungry. Yeah, and then she eats the evil and intimidating centaur.
The baby screams.
Oh, so the microphone picks up that little noise, but that, oh my gosh.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
We need to- Shit.
Yeah,
We
gets
need
your-
to have words.
doesn't get-
It loves to
Oh
pick
my
up
gosh.
everything when you're not voice acting.
Except, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like,
Then
if
Betsy
you
shows
open the
up and it's
bag
like,
of
oh
chips-
no, wait, what's over here? Ooh,
If you opened a bag of chips and started eating, it would get every single.
it
crunch.
would, every single little crunch.
However, when you're just trying to talk, it would go like, or something like that. Like I'm just trying to talk, but and then you suddenly lose every
Mhm.
that I was just
Yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah.
And then chat goes, your mic, stop it.
I don't even look at chat, so you're screaming to the void. I don't care.
Which is true. I get it, and I'm like
You're-
in panic mode. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta fix it right
Complaints
now.
your complaints will fall on deaf ears. I know nothing.
All right,
Oh.
y'all ready for this?
Hold on. I need to
As Rexy as
refill my drink real quick.
Oh yes.
be right back.
please.
One
All
moment.
3 of you.
Yeah,
La, la,
there
la.
goes
Yeah.
the third person out of the 3 people that are in this chat.
I'm ready. Subaru is getting
I
water.
love the 3 people being in the Subaru's also okay. Well, we're down to 1 out of the 3 people needed.
Wait,
Did I
isn't
just-
one of the
No,
3 people 2 of me?
All right, moment's over.
We're
Oh,
still
just
missing
one of you.
Subaru.
I was scrolling through the chapter, just like flicking my eyes over all the lines, and I just see this with hold on,
What is
no
this?
context.
Hello, Sierra.
Where is it? The live recording shit. This. That's the only thing in the line. That's the only thing in the line. I was like, wait, did I fucking read that right?
That's
Wait,
amazing. Best line.
He exploded.
I was like, what? What do you mean? I don't remember that in this chapter.
Surprise! Sierra, what are you looking at?
3-0, starting life as an explosive in another world.
oh my god.
It's a very short chapter.
Yeah, Cubby, and then he dies. Poor guy. All right, we're done stalling for time.
Yes.
Yep.
I think we're ready for the
For the fun? Woohoo!
For peak.
Oh,
for
All right,
Good.
guys.
I'm gonna do it in
You're gonna
Japanese
want to
this
listen to
time.
this chapter title.
Yeah. Okay, I'm curious how it's gonna sound.
All right, everyone ready?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
All right. Arc 6, Chapter 54. Restarting life in a different world from zero. The world about to be painted in darkness. Sitting down, devoid of any strength, the shadow stretched out its countless hands towards the motionless. Just like spirals or a whirl. The pitch black hands were trying to wrap Natsuki Su, along with his soul, into its clutches. The places where he was being touched, like melting, like crumbling, like coming apart. He knew that his very being was going to go hollow. But strangely enough, he could not feel anything unpleasant at all. His body was going to crumble as far as he could see. His very being was going to be overwritten. His soul was going to be churned up. While being inflicted with what perhaps was the greatest blasphemy that could be done to a living thing, Natsuki Subaru's mind was quiet enough to say that he was at peace. Though the effects of the disappointment from before rested heavily in the depths of his heart. But it was not just that, since it was just this shadow, its shadowy tendrils which were steadfast, true. It was only the shadow that showed consideration for Natsuki Subaru's emotions, wanted to vanish and disappear, even now.
I want to die. I want to vanish. I want to fall apart. I want to be trampled over. I want to be reduced to ashes, leaving nothing behind. Even if I am to revive over and over again, come, erase my body down into ashes.
This black shadow would grant such a desirable prayer. This black shadow would grant what Subaru had earnestly cried out for. Just repeating these words ad nauseum was irritating. Even if he plugged up his ears and closed his mind, it put its fingers in the gaps of his closed mind and slid them in from the opened gaps, directly whispering its love.
Stop this! I'm fed up! No matter how many times you repeat this, I goddamn know already! I don't love you! I don't love myself! I knew about being loved. I knew it all too well.
It was his parents. Both his mother and father loved Subaru from the depths of their heart. He knew that, as if he could not know. So, that was why Subaru wanted to disappear. Despite being loved by his parents, he definitely could not love himself, that which had no worth in being loved.
Stop it! Give me a break! Enough already! No matter how many times you repeat this, you can't get anything more than this! I came to this conclusion a while ago already! I knew it! And despite knowing, I just turned my eyes from it!
The people who were concerned about Subaru for dear life, with such desperation, all of them could not possibly be bad people. He knew that. He couldn't not know that. So Subaru should have just died. He should have endeavored to not be illuminated by the compassion of those bothered by Subaru's very existence.
Stop it! I said I know! If I endure this torture until the end, will you grant my wish? Will you swallow me and break me and pulverize me and erase me into oblivion so that I may never presume on another ever again? If you could do that, I will accept it. I want to accept it. If this is the end.
If this could be made into the end, then Natsuki Subaru, even if he would disappear,
That's enough!
a voice chimed. It seemed just like the confession of love that was being whispered endlessly into his ears. A voice reminiscent of a silver bell arose, piercing through the confessions of love that were painting over Natsuki Subaru's existence and the world itself. It pierced right through and reached down towards Subaru.
Huh?
A light gushed out. It pierced right into the pitch-black shadowy appendages that were swallowing Subaru up. A shockwave was generated. The magical hand that had received the direct hit was snapped off and torn away. But that was just one from a countless number of them. It was just one amongst thousands that had been cut down. That effort meant absolutely nothing to the hostility coming from that enormous, powerful mass of shadows. But even so, the person who had let loose that blow stepped forward with determination, dodging, evading, avoiding the evil arms of the shadow that were launched towards them, with exceptional agility. And then...
Subaru!
Calling out Subaru's name as he sat slumped down, the owner of the voice that was ever so reminiscent of a silver bell grasped his feeble hand. Subaru's body was pulled up abruptly, and she took him away from that spot with all her strength. As if to say she would not allow them to do that, the shadow stretched out its arm, blocking their front and rear, trying to block off both their path forwards and their path of escape. However, even with that obstacle in front of their eyes, her legs went forwards without stopping.
Hurrah!
One hand gripping Subaru's own, sticking out her free hand. A dazzling light was born there. And immediately afterwards, a beautiful crystal of ice appeared, shining brightly. It was the very same kind of the ice cage which had kept Subaru confined. It was a mesmerizing, valiant riposte of ice. It mowed down the pitch-black tendrils that had expanded so to make a wall in front of them, and forcibly wrenched open their path. Witnessing the instant of the shadow being washed away, Subaru, who had harbored the impression that the strange shadow would devour everything in its path, could only feel that the heart which he had thought would remain forever unbeating had started to tremble again. And as his then frozen heart began to stir, his eyes also turned to face the beautiful face right beside him. The long silver hair of the girl glittered like the moon as she held Subaru's hand, looking straight in front, taking him along, running away. Though her survival was also confirmed, in his heart, he was not excited by them. Quite the opposite, in fact. In the depths of Subaru's skull, he felt like something was going to crack. Of course, he could not be delighted by his survival. The people he had made sure were alive, Julius, Beatrice, Echidna, he had let them die. Though he had not witnessed the end with his own eyes, he could only imagine that things had gone south, what had happened when leaving Julius behind down there with the witch beasts and Reed. Beatrice had faded away, protecting Subaru, and even easing Echidna's suffering while on the brink of death, something he had been unable to do. Natsuki's Subaru was pestilence personified. Death was intrinsic to his very being. As his own death was shaped into nothingness, he imposed that misfortune upon everyone around him. He was such a being that couldn't help but conjure to mind such a ridiculous metaphor, its poster child ensconced in such a pitch-black fate.
Enough already.
Huh?
I said there's no use even struggling on anymore.
Subaru forcibly stopped moving his feet, struggling against Emilia, pulling him along by his arm. And still, Emilia tried to pull Subaru's arm, though Subaru, now possessing grit determination, did not allow them. Although the disparity in their strength was evident, Subaru's determination still remained steadfast. As if noticing that dark urge from the depths of his dark iris, Emilia let out a gulp, stopped pulling his arm with all her strength.
Huh?
The two of them, Subaru and Emilia, were at a standoff. Both of them were staring at each other. Looking at their surroundings, there were no signs of the shadow that had tried to engulf Subaru. Had it been shaken off him while escaping together with Emilia? If that was the case, then wouldn't they still come across it again if they turned back? It seemed as if that thing the best way of completely erasing Natsuki's Subaru.
Why did you come and save me? You must be out of your mind! You thought I was a fake as well. So, you could have just locked me in that ice cage and tried to kill me!
These words were purposefully deceptive, twisting the truth at will. Each word spoken maliciously, putting more so as to never think that Emilia would once again take his hand. However, to Emilia, who saw only the truth looking, Subaru's despicable tactic was futile. Her eyes narrowed in anger, and she raised her voice at Subaru.
I'm not trying to kill you. I just wanted to hear your side of the story, as there is something unusual about Subaru. And since you hadn't told us anything about missing your memories, we...
And what of it? That may have been just something for my own convenience! Did you believe it that easily? You sure look stupid. You've gone crazy. You, Julius, and Beatrice!
He had been locked up in the ice cage, and he had told them the truth about having amnesia like he had been in desperation. No one who possessed the ability to think should have believed such words. Rom and Echidna's attitude had been the correct one, and yet, despite that, more than half of the others were stupid.
No! Everyone's stupid in the end. With things like this, in the end, even Echidna apologized to me. I don't get it!
In the end, Echidna? Subaru, what happened? Are Echidna and the others...
Emilia begun to ask that question to Subaru, the latter muttering and groaning with his face covered by his own hands. Even with how worried she looked, he would be digging his nails into that beautiful heart. It was because of that Subaru was letting all of his own emotional as if made of glass. Even her lifeblood had bled out, leaving behind only an expression of fragility, a feeling that keeping those existences which mattered from feeling pain would be a blessing, achieving only such a heart-wrenching, desolate desire, in the figure of a young girl who had lost her life. As the thoughts revived in his mind, Subaru let out a scream in an attempt to let the wounds he had in the depths of his heart spread open.
Dead! Echidna is dead! Both of her legs were blown off, and she bled out in pain. In short, she died in anguish! Beatrice as well! That girl even protected me! What an absurd thing! Cutting off its own tail. If only I'd noticed earlier. But I didn't. And so she died. She said she would forget me.
Even if Subaru had forgotten, Beatrice would not forget. Beatrice had firmly declared that she would help Subaru regain his memories without fail. However, she had perished, straight after she had said that. It was all bark and no bite. Words were wind, and immediately after she had spoken them, she had kept Subaru away from death, and with a face full of relief, she had vanished from this world.
If she was going to disappear like that, I should have stopped her. I took her out. I took her away. Whatever. How it happened doesn't matter. At any rate, if I took her from anywhere other than here, I never should have. Even if I hadn't, then
things would not have ended with her meeting that fate, vanishing with that expression on her face.
That's right. That Julius guy too. Surely, around about now, he must already be in a place with so many scary witch beasts, and with that Reed guy inconveniencing him, and being then all like, "Go, please!" What idiocy.
Everyone here was an idiot. What on earth were they expecting? Entreating, taking back, having apologized for doubting him. What on earth were they spouting out? What would become of their request? What would the meaning be in taking them back? Wasn't it natural for them to doubt him? Natsuki Subaru was here because he betrayed everything that hung over him. Survive and have some peace and quiet alone. That was unbearable. He wanted to disappear and die. He was the most idiotic, stupid, utterly helpless. He could not save anything. If those were not Natsuki Subaru, then just what would they be?
Me and Subaru met for the first time at this place called the Loot House in the royal capital.
Subaru had sunk to a bottomless swamp, self-blame and self-doubt with no escape. He could not even move his own body. Emilia's sudden confession had made Subaru's eardrums throb. Her words had come out as if bringing fond, precious, nostalgic memories back to her.
Huh?
Receiving those words devoid of context abruptly, Subaru was dumbfounded. All he could do was let go of his breath and his... In no way was this meant to scorn or mock her sudden actions. Subaru's consciousness simply could not keep up to that degree, and was genuinely stunned in silence. And yet, Emilia ignored Subaru's reaction, proffering down a finger as she allowed more memories to resurface.
Back then, Felchon stole a really important insignia from me. I was in a mad rush with Puck trying to get it back, and then after we pursued her, we fought against Melee's One-san. We were in grave danger, but Reinhard came to save us. And after that, I just breathed a sigh of relief. Melee's One-san went straight for me. Subaru saved me from that. That was when I first met with Subaru. Don't you remember it?
Hearing her question, Subaru shook his head. Even though she had recited those memories in detail, he had no knowledge of even a small bit of what she had said. It was to be expected, of course. Those were the memories of Emilia and Natsuki Subaru. No matter what, those were bits of memories spun by Natsuki Subaru, who kept behaving in ways unimaginable to him.
But Subaru protected me, which caused him some serious injuries. So I brought you back with me to Roswell's mansion. And there, while she complained, Beatrice treated your wounds. Ram, and surely even Rem, got on well with Subaru. And then, without her own Aeson, Melee acted wickedly and spurred on the attack of some witch beasts. Subaru and Ram held them back until Roswell finished them off. I stayed in the mansion. It was when you also promised to take me on a date. Don't you remember it?
He shook his head. He did not remember it. He had never done such things. Never had.
And you know, we did so many things in the mansion. We made mayonnaise. We drank alcohol with everyone. Puck made it snow. Oh, we played the King's Game. And after that, I was called to the royal capital for the royal selection, right? It was also the first time I ever had a big fight with Subaru. I didn't want Subaru to get hurt anymore, nor make you overdo things. And I was scared and didn't understand why you were so kind to me. So I thought that everything would come to an end when we fought.
As she recounted these memories, Emilia's voice started to faintly tremble. There was a mixture of joy and sorrow, anxiety and expectation, various conflicting emotions. Subaru was assailed by a feeling of being completely parched. Unbearable. Bearable was this yearning scorching his chest. For the sake of Emilia revealing this expression in its entirety, no, for this single reason, that yearning was unbearable.
I didn't understand what was happening. At the time, I was being swept away by the uneasy situation. And then Subaru came running back to me when I was my most depressed. And after that... What was it you said? Do you remember it?
I don't remember.
It did not come out. They really were not going to come out. The trembling of Amelia's voice, her appeal, her echoing voice that clung onto him, all of these made it evident. The Subaru that was here now was not the Natsuki Subaru that she wanted. Having this obvious fact thrust before him, Subaru broiled in envy and jealousy towards himself.
Why is it you, Natsuki Subaru? You and I, why are we so different? Natsuki Subaru!
Amelia and everyone thought like this.
Return the real Natsuki Subaru. The you, the Subaru Natsuki right now, just drop dead! For how much longer will it be you be the one who will be present in this place?
Such should they be thinking, hurting, suffering, lamenting. And yet,
But I remember everything. I remember what Subaru promised me, and what Subaru told me, and what Subaru's done. I remember everything.
joy and hope were lodged in that smile, so that both sadness and anxiety would never have been there. Seeing Amelia's smile, Subaru's lips trembled. There was nothing. It was nowhere. Everything he had said, everything he had done, everything he had promised, inside of this body, inside of this head, inside of this heart, at the depths of his soul, there was nothing. And so he said,
I don't remember. I don't even remember it. Who are you? Who are you? Who are all of you? Who are you all talking about?
he exploded. Some time ago, with Beatrice and Echidna, he had let himself burst into a fit of emotions. And once again, he also shouted this here.
Huh?
Faced with his bellow, Amelia widened her amethyst eyes. All while still gazing at her, Subaru rapidly blinked his eyes, clearing away the hot tears that had welled up there, with an even dirtier voice which strove to preserve a malicious tone. He continued to bellow.
Putting your life on the line for someone else's sake. Springing into action straight away for someone else's sake. Running so you could give it your all for someone else's sake. Accomplishing something by risking my life for someone else's sake. Can there be such things? Can I do such things?
To hear all of her recollections and reply that he could not remember. Unable to answer Beatrice's question before she vanished, still bearing that regret in his heart, he would listen to Amelia gently, almost convincingly, talk about her memory. Julius had entrusted in him. Beatrice had believed in him. Echidna had forgiven him. Amelia desired him. All of that for Natsuki Subaru. The one that had been summoned to this parallel world. The real him.
Don't joke about! Such a guy cannot be Natsuki Subaru!
There was no way that someone could entrust their wishes to Natsuki.
I know all too well about how pathetic and disgusting and helpless and what a rotten bastard Natsuki Subaru is!
There was no way that anyone could believe in Natsuki Subaru in his heart.
Who are you actually all looking at? What are you talking about? Such a guy is nowhere to be seen. Everything is a downright lie. The thing that guy showed, the things that guy said, everything! It was just some random crap that he spouted out from his mouth. There's no value in believing in it.
And there was no way that someone could pardon Natsuki Subaru from his sins.
there's any value in Natsuki Subaru! Natsuki Subaru's scum! He's a useless, rotten bastard! I know this better than anyone else!
Like hell, anyone would want Natsuki Subaru to be beside them. There was no worth. There was no worth or anything to be desired anywhere. Natsuki Subaru was pestilence personified. No matter whom it may be, everything just amounted to wounds, loss, and death. Thus, let's end it. Emilia and everyone else needed not get hurt anymore because of that guy.
It doesn't have to be me.
He merely did mutter those words. It did not have to be himself. No, it would be way better if it was not Natsuki Subaru. Why did they entrust things to a man who could not do anything? Why did they believe in him? Why did they forgive him? Why did they desire him? There should be more ways for them to manage things better. There should be someone else to help them manage things better. Even if that someone was the Natsuki Subaru that everyone wished for, he was nowhere to be found anymore. Natsuki Subaru was a pretense that he never possessed from the beginning. A vain being.
Someone like me. Just disregard me and toss me away. Someone smarter than me, someone stronger than me, will turn up.
He said that he could not do anything. It was just this sense of sheer helplessness that overwhelmed Natsuki Subaru. Everyone had their lot in life, when appropriate to them. He wanted everyone to understand that. Subaru was unqualified to walk next to Emilia and the others. He was unqualified to be desired by them. He was neither strong or smart. They needed not desire to have such a Therefore, he would...
My name's Amelia. Just Amelia.
Having spat out his sheer sense of helplessness, with his heart dominated by the things he wanted to spit out as he spiraled towards hollowness, the bell-like voice rang out, like a surprise attack, causing him to let out a sound. He did not understand the meaning of those words. No, not the meaning. It was her intention that he did not comprehend. Lifting his head, Subaru looked at the person who had introduced herself as Emilia, standing right in front of him. She had her hand on top of her ample chest. Within her big, round, amethyst eyes, Subaru could see his own figure reflected. His breath was taken away by their shimmer. Emilia continued onwards with her speech, right in front of Subaru.
There are so many things I have to tell you, and so many things I have to ask you. Many, many, many things. But right now, I have to hear just one thing. Julius, Beatrice, and Echidna. And now, I've taken you by the hand, by running away together. I want to protect you at any cost. I didn't want you to die. So by doing that...
Emilia closed her eyes and plunged into thought, full of emotion. After a few seconds, she broke off her speech. He could see that various emotions were coursing through her chest. These even included her feelings of anxiety for companions who were not present here. Emilia's cherry-colored lips quivered with those emotions fresh in her.
You, who have made us feel that way. Who are you? Please, let me hear your name.
At Emilia's question, the very depths of his heart shook within his chest. The manifestation of her intentions were not to deny the Natsuki Subaru in front of her eyes, or to recover the old Subaru. They were an affirmation of Natsuki Subaru. The one before us is a fake. Return the real Natsuki Subaru to us. Words along those lines, behavior along those lines, resentment along those lines would have been easier to bear. Because it was nothing other than something Subaru had desired himself. He still preferred the side of those who said that the him standing in front of their eyes was a fake, that they wanted him to return Natsuki Subaru. The one who said that to him, the ones who wished that from him, the ones who tormented him with that, he still preferred their side. But it was Amelia that... No, not just her. Up until here, everyone who had spoken to Natsuki Subaru had implored the same thing, irrespective of whether he was strong. Thus, even if he let himself be seen so shameful and could not help forgetting everything, he still had not changed. By their words, by their behavior, by their life, they showed their need for Natsuki Subaru.
Why?
Hmm?
Why are you here? Natsuki Subaru. What can that guy do? What do you expect from him?
He did not understand it. In just this overwhelming despair, in their helpless numerical inferiority, what would happen if Natsuki Subaru was there? In what way would the situation improve? Could they break through this?
Weak, dumb, miserable, spineless guy. What do you even see in him?
Maybe it is as you say.
Amelia cast her eyes down at Subaru, entreating her with this rather than denying, shaking her head begrudgingly. Her eyes were bordered by long eyelashes. Her voice, ever so reminiscent of a bell, tickled his heart. Everything about Amelia seemed to be a linchpin that tied Natsuki Subaru to this world. Yet, despite that sort of out-of-place, powerful emotion, certainly one connected to Subaru's heart, Amelia continued.
There are plenty of people stronger than Subaru. And surely there are many people smarter than Subaru. But I prefer to be with you, Subaru, no matter what time. I believe that Subaru would do so for me. Thus do I wish. After all, if you're going to help me anyways, having it be someone I like would make me so much happier than someone who just does it because they're there and they can.
And whilst smiling, Amelia said this. While smiling and with her cheeks slightly blushing, she said this. Subaru took a breath, as if gasping. Having received Amelia's word, in that instant, surely all time had stopped within his body. With a bonum, bonum, he could feel his heart pounding. And at the same time in which his feelings boiled up from within him, another emotion rose up. Scorn towards Natsuki Subaru. I see, Natsuki Subaru. Did you fall in love with this beautiful... Someone who is probably way out of your league. As if such a young woman would even give you the time of day. Such a cool knight, such a wise woman, such a sweet little girl. Finally, such a beautiful right in front of his eyes. Entrusting to you, believing in you, forgiving you, wishing it were you. Not asking you to be a savior, not even expecting you to be a savior, merely if those staggering walls had to be crossed, rather than someone capable, just wishing it were you.
My name is Amelia. Just Amelia.
Once again, Amelia gave the silent name. She looked over towards him with her amethyst eyes. Subaru's dark brown eyes gazed back at those eyes right in front of him. Then,
Please, let me hear your name.
I...
He hesitated, forming his words, hearing Amelia's question once again. He had denied it over and over again. He could not do it. He could not do it. He could not be it. He had repeatedly denied it. So, this was surely nothing more than convenient wordplay. Trusted, believed in, forgiven, desired. In this desert's tower, what if there were the qualifications to be treated like that by them? In this desert's tower, what if there was someone that could save Amelia and the... If that was Natsuki Subaru, then if that Natsuki Subaru nowhere to be found.
My name is Natsuki Subaru. Entrusted by Julius, believed in by Beatrice, forgiven by Echidna, desired by Amelia, by you. If that man's name is Natsuki Subaru, then...
The black-haired boy answered the young woman, glimmering silver hair, staring with his dark brown eyes into her amethyst. To the question that quivered from her cherry-colored lips, his blood-stained lips answered back.
I am Natsuki Subaru!
Right now, feeble, without strength, mind and body racked by despair, but still he declared it. For Amelia and everyone else, for you and everyone else, for their safety, for peace and quiet. Thus did he wish, thus did he implore. Subaru had strongly declared it. In his heart, he had not fully wiped away the pieces of distrust Natsuki Subaru. Even now, the one that had caused my death had not departed Subaru's mind. No, the face and voice of that wicked man, Meili's death. Perhaps the time where it would be wiped away would never come. But that was okay. Even so, that was okay. It was not like he wanted to be saved. It was not like he would cling on them, wishing to be saved either.
I want you all to be saved.
He thought.
I want to help you all!
He implored.
If that can be done by Natsuki Subaru, then I will do it! The reason you started running, the destination you set out for, better be the same. So long as the road envisioned is the same, then we're just bitter enemies in the same boat. Even if I hate you, I will not complain. Let Natsuki Subaru save Amelia and the others. Thank you, Amelia. You made me believe in that.
Subaru, I am...
With Subaru's reply, ripples rose within Amelia's amethyst eyes. Her lips quivering, Amelia started to somehow string together some words toward who had defined himself as such. It occurred right afterward. Up until then, nothing had disturbed the two of them talking. The situation, which had until now remained peaceful, cracked in an instant.
Amelia!
Near them, the aisleway where the two had been conversing was in a flash crushed and pulverized by a shadow. The aisleway lost its shape, and Amelia, losing her balance, losing her footing, facing her, Subaru, having barely clung onto his foothold, kicked against the floor with force. At that moment, the tower lost its shape, smashed up and weathered, perishing next to lumps of stone clad in the eroded sand. Subaru immediately dove towards Amelia, who had started to... The distance shrunk, catching up to her silver hair still lingering above, and finally, he closed his arms around her slender body.
Subaru!
As he clutched her slender, soft body, Amelia stirred, calling out Subaru's name. She was probably trying to change her position in his arms, trying to put herself lower. And because of that, The one that helped and the one being helped had been reversed. Amelia and everyone else were truly nuts. But alas, Amelia's effort had been completely useless in the situation. Amelia, with her back to the ground, unable to see where she was falling to, probably had not gotten the swing of things. It was neither the hard floor of the tower nor the sprawling sand dunes outside that would come to meet Subaru and her. It would be the pitch black shadows wrapping this tower that would lead to the end of everything. So, the two of them would end up being swallowed by the shadow, just embracing each other, just like that. No, the opposite. Surely, this would become the beginning. That which they had started once. He would start again, right here, from the end, anew. For that reason, he would make a promise. Right here, in this world, in this place, he would make the words he exchanged with Amelia real. Having been saved, having wished of wanting to save them. It was time to start from the end, holding all of that. The time for sputtering and babbling was over.
Infatuation like a curse is nice, isn't it? It's what I've always wanted.
He did not know whether Natsuki Subaru was worthy of being loved. But since the requirements needed to be loved by Amelia and everyone else were there.
Even if they still forget. Even if they don't remember the words they told me in this ending world. In this world beginning anew. Even if they still forget. Even if they don't remember the words that I struck in you all. In this ending world. In this world beginning anew. I will remember. I will remember everything. Because even now, even if I have to cling onto them, I will not forget them. Even if you forget, I will not forget any of you. Always remember, Natsuki Subaru.
The shadow drew ever closer, its darkness engulfing Amelia and just like that, Amelia and Natsuki Subaru were sinking towards the depths of the shadows. Metempsychosis. Everything was coming apart. Everything was becoming zero. The end was coming as expected. And it began in the place where everything became zero. A battle to kill Natsuki Subaru and bring back Natsuki Subaru commenced. And that's the end of the chapter.
Woo!
Yeah. Holy shit.
Huzzah!
Team of
They
three.
said the thing.
They
They
said
said the thing.
Say that
They
again.
said the
Plum
thing.
Zero.
zero. Oh,
Damn.
Oh,
that was a lot.
I'm tired.
Heavy chapter.
Poor wolf.
Oh, how's your throat, man?
Bit done in, but I'm doing all right.
Jeez.
Difficult.
Not the healthiest of mindsets he's come out of this with, but I mean, it's a start.
It's a start. It's a start.
It's a
It's
start.
It
not-
is.
It's not like before.
It's a hard reset and going into the wrong direction, but at least he's not the wrong direction that was the previous him. Because Jesus fucking
Yeah.
Christ.
Like,
It's a
at
new
least
wrong
back in the starting
direction.
line.
You
Like, ooh, that Book of the Dead plan, man. I don't know.
That was a
was
bad
not
idea.
Exactly.
That's some
Yeah,
sketchy
that was
shit.
not.
You know,
Literally everyone in the tower could have cooked him by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as Melee, I think it was a genius idea. I think
Let's go.
Melee has no notes.
As the melee brain worms inside my brain, I have to agree. I just do. It was genius. Never been a better plan ever to exist.
Dude, I had to hold in my laughter when we got to the fucking he exploded line. That was,
He exploded.
yeah, that's where it is. Yeah.
There needs to be an
exploded.
outtake clip where it's just he exploded and an explosion noise.
He exploded.
I'm not sure.
How kind of
He's just
wait
gone.
For them to finish their moment.
I can't believe this. Subaru fucking died in this loop via just a random
Man,
explosion.
so unforeseen.
Yeah.
I had been muted that whole time. Apologies.
Ah,
Apologies accepted.
done.
Easy.
Easy.
Were you though? Like, wait, we could hear you before.
Oh,
I
you
think.
could? Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
Good.
Bits and pieces. Everything's falling apart. The tower, Subaru's mind, us,
Subaru's
everything.
mind.
Our
just
minds!
We can fix everything by restarting this call from 0.
Everyone, disconnect. Come back.
Everyone disconnects. and reconnects.
Oh.
Damn.
This was
What a
a
guy.
really scary chapter to do live for me personally, because like I feel like I did all right on some stuff, but I feel like the final recorded version of this will be a lot better because I was so nervous. I won't lie. Sorry.
You did great.
amazing.
You're great.
Did great.
It's been easy
Honestly,
to play
I
off
was-
of you.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very good listening. As the person who was completely sitting and just listening to the chapter, it is good.
I mean, hey,
Fuck, we
it's
get
always
it.
good.
Good thing you're all there for callbacks. Shit.
No, but as legit, like as someone who doesn't have to like look forward to the next line, it's a bit different than just like listening to it as reading.
True.
Yeah.
I think
that's
it was
fair.
good. I think it was good.
I think it's
Good
it's
work.
just a thing of like it's sometimes hard I think to project what I like read when first reading this, like and all of the things that came with it, like mentally, and put it out vocally. But I know the vocal experience is way more immersive, right? So
Mm-hmm.
oh my god.
Also, unexpected word I've never seen before. Metempsychosis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was a crazy.
Yeah.
Read. That was just.
I'm gonna be so real. We're gonna be destroying these chapters. We're probably gonna have to redo them all anyways, because the grammar was atrocious.
Yeah.
I know, I tried to fix as much as
Oh,
I
you did
could as I went
so
through,
good.
but
You were doing a
it's
great
like,
job.
ah!
I was making corrections where I could, but ooh.
Thank God we're all really good at
Yeah.
correcting on the fly. You
Yeah.
guys do great.
Yeah.
But you're just like the mental gymnastics it takes to voice act, get in the right mindset, and then read through the grammar slog is crazy.
I think it's just an extra
Oh.
struggle when you've got to match your voice to the tone of the scene. You've got to emote correctly for the words, and when you have to improvise words on a part that's already scripted, it just adds like another convoluted element to it.
Yeah, without fluff, because you have to like reorder the entire sentence in your head before like getting to it or reading
Yeah.
it.
Or you just deal with it as it comes.
yes.
Yeah, you do.
Like I
What
do.
did we
It's like
roll?
pure blind read. So it's just like, oh, unknown word. Luckily, Subaru had a mini soliloquy above it, so I had a chance to
Yeah.
glance at it real quick.
Yeah.
Let me just read this out of my head. Subaru finally took notes from like Shakespeare. Oof.
To be or not to be?
That
That's
is the question.
Whether to
And the
snow
answer
blur in
is
the month.
obvious not to be. Goodbye, Black.
Goodbye. Become shadows.
I don't think Stella would want that.
Well,
Or Amelia. Or apparently anyone else in the tower.
Yeah.
Pretty insane.
I
Like,
mean, Shala seems to want him, so like, just.
Oh my.
well,
Oh my!
Oh, that was crazy.
wait.
That was channeling some
crazy.
Elsa.
I swear I didn't mean it like that.
Uh-huh. I mean, I don't disagree. It's just damn.
Yeah.
That's a pretty poor statement.
Those were words.
Yeah,
They
were.
were spoken.
I think with that, we are. I think this is. Yeah, my brain's checked out. Let's good night.
Good night,
It's good
everyone.
night
Thank
time.
you for hanging out and doing this.
Very
I
with
well.
promised it
us.
would be a ride, and it was.
And it was.
Woo.
Good night, everybody.
Begin
Thank you for
soon.
being here.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.